Kiefer Sherwood, who's having a massive contract year, goes for 2 second-round picks and an AHL defenseman, Cole Clayton. He's a year older than Bob McMann. It got me thinking, like 14 games before now in the trade deadline, the Maple Leafs don't know which direction they're going to go at this point in time. What could they fetch on the open market for a Bob McMann, like on the trade market? That's what intrigues me. Like, I just wonder at this guy's age, is this his ceiling? He's got 15 goals in 48 games. So what? He's going to have around 25 is my guesstimate. Like, is this the ceiling for Bob McMann? And on top of that, if somebody comes calling and blows your doors off with an offer, do you almost have to do it, Rosie?
Well, it's tough, man. I mean, the one thing we're missing here in this story is, what does Bobby McMann want to stay in Toronto? Like, if it's 5x5, you might have to make some tough decisions. If it's 3.8x4, then maybe, it all depends on that. And I know they've been having discussions, and they've been going back and forth on it. I have no idea how far apart they are. I don't know what Bobby McMann wants. I don't know what level of commitment the Leafs are willing to give him, but I don't think you can make a very well-defined opinion on this matter without knowing how those negotiations are going and where they're at and what people are asking for. Obviously, the Leafs want to get him for as little as possible, and obviously Bobby wants to get as much as possible. But is he thinking, I am in my 30s, I have got a late start on it, playing college well into his 20s, and now like kind of hitting his stride and feeling like he's probably just improved a lot and leapfrogged a lot of guys that would have been his comparables in the past? Now he's like, I need to capitalize, I need to maximize. I mean, that's the reality of an athlete, especially when you're in your 30s. You have a chance to make some hay while the sun shines. You want to collect. And I don't know if that's where his head's at or not. I know he's saying it's a great place to play. It's got everything you could ask for, blah, blah, blah. Of course, you're going to say that while you're playing for the organization. But if he wants the bag and then some, maybe you have to exercise that option. But one thing I do know is, as soon as Bobby McMann is not on your roster, you're looking for a guy to be Bobby McMann. I mean, he can play up and down on the roster, as he has. He goes first line, fourth line. He's got a ton of speed. He's got a wicked shot. I think he's got a good attitude. He sometimes can play with a bit of grit. I wish he'd play with more of that. I wish he'd adopt a little bit of Scott Laughton's like pissed off mentality, get mad, get involved, get rugged, be noticed out there a little bit more. I think that would really help him, but you're not going to replace him easily if you do say send him out for 2 second rounders. They're going to maybe help you in 3 to 4 years. You know what I mean?
Well, my thinking is like, well, there's going to be free agency. So maybe you find a similar addition in free agency. And number two, you can use those assets. If let's say it's 2 second round picks, I'm just using a comparable of Kiefer Sherwood. I think they're comparable players in my opinion. Sherwood's got 17 goals. McMahon's got 15, maybe a bit more edge and chip, and shoots right on Sherwood, but it's close enough to call. I think it's more so like utilizing that elsewhere. And then my other question I have is like, how do I view Bob McMann? Like, is he a first line player? Is he a middle six guy? I still have a sickening taste in my mouth going back to last season. What was it? The last 24 games of the year, he did nothing, couldn't score, couldn't pick up points. I know he had the big apple to Pacioretty in game 6, so I'm going to call that out. But I just wrestle with the idea, like, what is Bob McMann? Is he having a prototypical contract year? Is he a guy you can rely on down the road?
Yeah, it's a valid question, man. Like and the bottom line is, you can't predict the future. Like, I think Toronto's fairly famous for picking, guys up after having a career year and paying them, and then you never get that production again. And it's always an anchor of a contract to a degree. That could happen. We could sign Bobby McMann for 4 years at a number that people are like, holy, I hope he keeps getting better. Pretty hard to get better at 30, 31 all the time when you're, but he has been. I think he's as good as he's ever been right now. And that's kind of the teetering thought is, do you sign this guy for everything he wants when he can't play any better than he is right now? Or will he get better? Stranger things have happened. Again, you don't have a crystal ball. I look at him as a middle six guy. I think he's a second line to third line type of guy. I would like to see him up his level of grind, level of compete. I mean, last year that you brought up is a great example. He was a complete ghost for the last 20 games of the season. And it's like, why aren't you doing other things to contribute if the puck's not going in the net? Like, why aren't you banging and why aren't you crashing? And you're playing the Florida Panthers in the playoffs. Why aren't you matching their intensity, matching their, go be rugged out there. Go be a pest. Go be a rat. Go be heavy. Go run your mouth. Go draw penalties. It didn't seem even to acknowledge the fact that he could do that. He just wanted to try and score and was not doing it by any stretch and was a total ghost to finish the season. So that is concerning. I agree with it. But like, say you flip him for 2 second rounders and then you go and get Sherwood, like, what's the point of that? Like, to me, you just have a guy that never been in Toronto, doesn't know any of the guys, doesn't know how Chief operates, doesn't know what it feels like to win in that team. Like, for me, they've done all this work this season to get out of that garbage they were at the beginning of the season, to make themselves into someone that can beat the Colorado Avalanche and can play more consistent hockey that they have been doing since Christmas. What is the point of jumping through all those hoops and taking apart that locker room to a degree to just bring in the same type of level guy as Bobby McMann? It's, I guess, then you're not stuck with the decision of signing him or not. I guess, is that the idea?
Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.